All right, and so that's where we move to the introduction from fundamentalist to skeptic, where we kind of look at kind of who Bart Ehrman is, why he's been successful, why do we know his name? Very important kind of to know the person because it kind of lines up well into knowing how he's approaching things and also questioning why are you approaching things like that. It seems like we've listened to presentations by Tim McGrew from Western Michigan University, where he actually critiques some of Bart Ehrman's stuff by appealing to earlier editions of Ehrman and books that they did together. And then when F.F. Bruce passed, Ehrman reissued some books where changes were made. It seems a little hinky, something a little hinky going on. But we won't cover probably that specific. But these claims have been out there, and so we want to look at the success of Bart Ehrman. We'll take a minute here to get better acquainted with Ehrman, the personal background and kind of his pilgrimage from this fundamentalist to skeptic.
That's right.
Seems weird, but it's been known to happen.
Oh yeah.
So as far as biblical scholars go, Ehrman's a rock star, right? There's no doubt about it. If you travel in the circles that we do, if we're reading something about a critique to biblical translation, contradictions, Ehrman's name comes up a lot. And he's been popularized all over. So he's a full-time professor at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. He's an adjunct professor at Duke University, and I think probably a lot of people, that's enough to turn him off because, Duke is bad. Sports ball, I don't get it, but I heard a lot of people say it. He has written numerous scholarly works and holds prestigious posts in academic societies. His scholarly credentials are impressive. There's no doubt about it. Nothing can be taken away from him there, and nor do we want to. Yet none of his professional academic achievements have made Bart Ehrman the near household name he has become. Ehrman's website lists 4 books written in the last 10 years, which is impressive. Probably not as impressive as Kustenberger does.
Well, yeah, but his is different because, they're...
Yeah, I mean, Ehrman's has been all four of these in the last 10 years have made it to the New York Times top 10 bestseller list.
Yeah, so that's impressive, right? That's
right.
In other words, here's the issue. Why would somebody want to read a stuffy old book about scriptures and theology, and then why has it made it to the New York Times? Who reads that kind of stuff? Well, usually scholars do, right? And academics and that sort of thing. But the very, the everyday person, they want to read that stuff.
Right. And that's how popularized he's made it. He's able to kind of break it down to that level so that the New York Times can recommend that to you.
Oh yeah. And people want to read it, right?
Yeah. I mean, misquoting Jesus, that's a great title.
Yeah.
I mean, he's whoever his publisher is, that's a great title.
Right. So he's traveled the world in debates and lectures. So he's popular for several factors, right? Most importantly, he has the ability, and this is really, I think, is the most helpful thing here, to explain difficult concepts to a lay audience, right? So the folks that aren't the academicians, right, that don't know all of the the background and the
P52 once discovered.
Okay. But he can explain in such a way that these folks understand what's going on, and that is really helpful, right?
And so Ehrman himself would claim that he's not really an innovator when it comes to theology and the views that he presents. In fact, he's kind of popularized it. He's able to break it down. No one's really heard of the Bauer hypothesis in the manner that he presents it, but that's evident through and through in his presentations. And he doesn't claim to be. He readily admits this as well, which is a humbling experience, especially for someone so well known.
Yeah.
Rather, he summarizes well what other scholars argue concerning the Bible and early Christianity. He's a master at packaging these arguments, presenting them well. And what you should be aware of is that in presenting these arguments, Ehrman rarely acknowledges counter-arguments to his own position.
Oh, wow, yeah.
The treatment of a given issue in Ehrman's writing is far more one-sided than the real discussion taking place, which, if you're talking about a scholarly work, you're probably more likely to do that. Here's a counterclaim. You're responding to the counterclaim.
In fact, you're expected to do that.
You want to because if you go through a peer review process, you're going to come back to those questions. So head them off at the pass. So this is the one thing that we hope to show, the book hopes to show, is that there are counter arguments that if you're reading misquoting Jesus, he's not saying, no, someone could say, et cetera, et cetera. And here's my response to that. here's the response book to that.
That's right. That's right. So 2 further reasons. So not only is he able to communicate these various ideas at a popular level so that lay folks understand it, but first, his success is in large part due to the fact that these skeptical biases have led to negative conclusions that are, of great interest to other skeptics, right? So here now, if you take the Bible, the greatest story ever told, the most popular book in the world, right, the #1 bestseller, and you come up with these various skeptical conclusions. Well, people want to know about that, especially folks that that are skeptical themselves and don't want to believe, right? So Western culture obviously is becoming increasingly hostile to the exclusivity of truth, right? In terms of this is the truth and nothing else kind of thing, right? And so the sentiment is often that, everyone can believe anything that they want as long as they aren't saying other people's belief are wrong. That's the basic idea that where we're at today.
Right. And not Christianity either.
And so as a result, this skepticism, is big.
Yeah, it's more prevalent in the society now than ever. So that's a good reason for why we want to see if there are answers out there. If there's apologetic arrows that we want to add to our quiver, and there is. Hey, what do you know? We're only not even chapter 1 in this book. So.